Hello, and welcome to the second episode of the FANMEN podcast. I'm DJ Gove.
Chris Davis.
Sean Hogarty.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about the big comic news for the week, because the reveal of the DC Universe app happened last night, hosted by Kevin Smith, even though we promised we weren't going to talk about him every week.
Purely coincidental.
Coincidental, he gets it this week because he is DC's go-to when they need him to host stuff, because who else can talk for 3.5 hours about one thing like Kevin can? There's nobody. There's
Doesn't even
nobody.
really need a question.
Nobody. So if anyone doesn't know, the DC Universe is another streaming service started by DC Comics in affiliation with Warner Brothers, I'm guessing, since they put up most of their media. It's going to be, I think, $7.99 a month. But if you prepaid for a year, which Chris and I both did, we did it back when they announced it at Comic-Con, it was $75 for 15 months, and you were entered to win a trip to the Aquaman premiere, which they gave out. But now we've been automatically entered into a trip to the Warner Brothers Studios to ride in the Batmobile.
I've been to Warner Brothers Studios.
Have you rode the Batmobile?
So it appears one of the Batmobiles they keep on the soundstage. Mm-hmm. You've gone to the Batman soundstage where they have the Bat spotlight and everything.
No, that wasn't there when I toured it.
So they've actually aggregated all of the Bat memorabilia, the bikes, the cars, the tumbler, into one
I went
spot.
shortly after Dark Knight. Which one had Catwoman in it? Dark Knight Rises? Had...
Yeah, that was Catwoman and not Bane was Dark Knight.
Correct, yes.
No, that was...
Yeah,
that's Dark Knight Rises.
And the guy they called Bane, who wasn't Bane.
Was it Catwoman? That was Poison Ivy and Bane.
No, you're thinking Batman and Robin.
I'm thinking Batman and Robin.
That doesn't exist.
The Nolan universe. So
Nolan universe. Okay.
So I went shortly after that. So they had a display of her suit without her in it. It was even smaller than she was. It looked like a tiny person's thing. Mm-hmm. And then they had like Tumbler Batmobile, and I think there might have been a Keaton Batmobile.
Yeah, I think it's the Forever.
But they change it fairly often. So
they cleaned out that entire building. Now it was all Justice League and Wonder Woman.
Ah, cool.
They had all the props from Wonder Woman, and they put all of the Batman into one soundstage.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I guess the idea is that if you win the contest, you could go out, tour the studio, and take a ride in one of the Batmobiles.
Yeah, and hang out. I think.
So is it too late to prepay for the year or 15 months?
I think you have until September. I want to say 10th.
That sounds right.
10th or 12th. So the app will go live on Batman Day, which is September 15th. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be some real cool stuff at Go Live, and there's going to be some other cool stuff coming. So I've watched the reveal. Chris watched the reveal. I did a bunch of reading on it too. Sean's not as in the loop, so he'll be hearing some of the stuff for the first time. It's gonna be kind of cool.
I've been working,
I know, yeah.
DJ. I have a job.
I do too.
And traffic's really sucks, so I've spent every evening driving.
What is this traffic thing you speak of?
It's a special part of space and time that smells, feels, and tastes. Never mind.
No, I have a 5-minute drive to work, so I get to work early and catch up on stuff and do a lot of reading and stuff.
I work.
I think the proper response to that is bite me, DJ.
Anyways,
but I haven't. So when I remember hearing about the DCU, Universe streaming service, there was some show or something that was going to be airing, like a couple months ago. So obviously they reveal that stuff, but I've been so wrapped up in other stuff that I wasn't up on they were going to make this reveal or anything. I knew Kevin was going to do something, so it's unusual that I would be so out of the loop, but I literally am. Yeah. So I'm kind of excited to hear.
Yeah. So they are going to do right now there's a YouTube series, the DC Daily News, like the DC Daily they do on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
That's going to happen as more like a long format show, kind of like a Sports Center kind of thing.
Oh, is it Titans? Is it the
Titans is coming too? Yeah.
That's when I originally heard about
Titans.
it.
Yeah.
Which I'm.
As Junior calls it, fuck Batman.
Yeah. So I'm actually slightly pissed about that. I'm, we can get to it. So I have an 11 and 13-year-old girls. Those are my kids. They're huge Teen Titans Go fan. They watched all the old Teen Titans animated series before, right? So the idea of a live Titan show, and they saw the original pictures from the set and stuff like that. They were pretty primed for this. I watched that trailer, and now I have to actually tell them that they can't watch it.
Yeah, I could see that.
I mean, at least, I mean, it's not like they've never heard fuck before.
Yeah.
But
No, but I had
generally,
the same
yeah.
conversation with Harley.
And that seems like a marketing mistake.
Yeah.
I understand why, but along the lines of the current slate of DC movies up to this point, the harder, edgier, darker, dramatic approach that I now see in that trailer, which I appreciate and enjoy. I'm not against that. But then the edgy fuck Batman, me, I'm going to watch it. I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But to make me as a parent with young kids, girls who are primed to either be tapped into as a market and a fan base or not, it feels like a mistake. So I'm interested to see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're going for an entirely different demographic there. It's much like a lot of the DC animated that's been coming out.
Yeah.
Any of these one-shot movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't been 90% of them not been geared towards the kids.
Yeah.
Gotham by Gaslight,
Right.
Yeah,
Dark
yeah.
Knight Returns.
So, I mean,
any of
I have. Yeah.
That's a little different than those are one-offs and they can be consumed by anybody. But here you're talking about the anchor selling series of something that I already have enough monthly subscriptions, right? I may do this because you guys have talked it up, and I may sink $75 into it for a year or whatever. But it's under protest
Yeah.
because I've already got Netflix, I've already got YouTube TV, I've already got Amazon Prime. You know,
Disney's coming.
yeah,
and then-
you know, I got other ways to watch stuff. I'm not necessarily interested in
That's-
adding on.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah,
you're getting to the point where they're nickel and diming you from every side.
right.
Well, this is what people wanted. They wanted to a la carte all their stuff.
No, what people actually want is a single. Right. I want to be able to just get content from anybody through a single delivery method or a single delivery standard. Right. I want to be able to have my TV app or whatever, and be able to subscribe to shows. And yeah, you can kind of do that through iTunes, except then, you know, I can only get shows that have on iTunes and I have to have Apple shit and whatever. No, I want a generic standard, right? You want me to pay for your show? Great. Let me pay $1.50 an episode, a la carte, delivered and downloadable through any app device that I want, so I can watch it when I want. And then you have an open tap to my wallet with your content.
Yeah.
Right?
And it
Anything else is going the opposite direction of consumer drive.
It seems to be moving further away from that.
Right.
But-
Which is demonstrably not consumer friendly, which ultimately is not income friendly for these industries, right?
True. But I mean, it might be. It's not consumer friendly from a layout perspective, but think
Yeah.
about it. Stuff like this, like they tried to do the live action Teen Titans show. It got shot down everywhere.
That's true. Yeah.
Without Netflix, you would never see like Stranger Things on NBC or some of the Handmaid's Tale. Some of these shows people love that are like winning
No, it would have
Emmys
to
and
follow
stuff.
on a Showtime or an HBO.
Exactly,
or
you
it's
wouldn't
not
get
made.
'em. You wouldn't get
I'm
'em.
all for that. Yeah.
So, but no, I mean, I can't see, especially because like, so let's start with Titans because we're already into it.
Yeah.
That's their big selling point is Titans.
Yeah.
A lot of people were upset with the whole Robin because the biggest thing is it is Dick Grayson
Yeah.
to start with, and he's acting more like Jason Todd after he came back.
Right. Which does seem again like a weird.
I mean, my theory is either one of two things. Either A, they are so desperate to make sure that the older demographic knows this is not that Teen Titans Go crap that none of you guys like and cry about all the time. Because a lot of people do. The people our age, the older people,
Yeah.
I love Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
I think
I've
it's
only seen
hilarious.
a handful of episodes when my
I've seen
kids
all
watch
of
it.
them. I love it.
But
It's mindless humor.
my
Yeah.
but it's not that it's mindless humor, but it's actually pretty funny and well written.
It is.
It's
yeah.
very well.
Like
It
my
is.
wife and I invariably, if it's on and we watch, we kind of crack
There's
up.
enough in there for the
Yeah.
adults.
Yeah,
too.
Burrito versus Cheeseburger, probably one of my favorite top 5 all-time cartoon.
What's the booty shaking song?
Oh my God, yeah. No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. So either they're very desperate to get away from that, or the other
Right.
thing is, from what they've said, the main character of the episode is of the whole series is Raven. So if they're doing Raven, that could be like a one-off thing where every time in the books, as far as I remember, when Trigon shows up, everyone gets a little ragier. Everyone gets a little more pissed off. So it could just be an after effect of something like that. Maybe it could have been just that one scene where he's like that. And he might not be like that the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to shoot anybody the whole show. I don't think.
No, I think it was done for shock effect. I think when you listen to them talk about the show, they're trying to take it back to where the original Perez Wolfman Titans, if they had had an environment like they did today, that's how it's these pissed off kids breaking away from their mentors, like Speedy or Robin or any of those guys. Kid Flash rebelling against the adults.
Don't take my comments as actual disinterest in the content, right?
no,
That's
not at
actually
all.
important. I
It's
actually
there.
want to see it. I'm just sad that an opportunity that I had actually talked to my kids about is, hey, we can watch this together. Is
I have a
maybe
very
not
strong
that.
feeling you're going to be able to you'll be able to pre-watch it possibly, and that might be the only F-bomb you get the entire series. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be an HBO show.
Yeah, I mean,
really don't.
if that's the case, then we'll watch it together
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah.
Yeah. So the big drawing point is the original content. So we just talked about Titans. Titans it's their flagship launch. I think they said it's coming out right about 25 days after the app goes live.
They are launching it at New York Comic Con.
So
they'll
what
premiere it there, and
is
then
on the app before that?
So
And it's beside that.
Yep. So for Go Live, for me the big thing is you're going to get Batman the Animated Series all remastered in
high
Blu-ray
def.
quality.
Okay, that's pretty good.
They showed the trailer. I saw the trailer online on comingsoon.net before the reveal, and I was like, how do you clean up a cartoon? It is gorgeous.
the split screen is unbelievable.
Oh my god, it's night and day. It looks
really
like they drew the thing in a computer today. The blacks are black, the reds are red. It's crisp. It's clean.
They probably did. They went through and
Yeah.
that it's an awfully flat animation style, which is really optimized for upscaling, digital cleanup, color treatment.
They did the whole thing on a black background.
Yeah, I didn't know that until they had Kevin Curry.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did it all in
Yeah.
black cells. I had no idea.
It was
'Cause
the
that was like,
first time they did that.
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
I was
that
younger than
layering
that.
effect to it.
But that is, probably, if not the best. Well, it's definitely the best comic-related cartoon series.
Yep.
It might be the best cartoon series ever.
What's the honest draw? I mean, that's okay. I
So there's that.
Don't let me be the crapper.
Yeah, no. There's that. They're gonna put because it's Batman Day, they're putting all the Batman movies on there, except
Sure.
for Batman and Robin, which I found kind of funny.
really
That was
there-
not in the list of movies.
So
it
is
wasn't
that
listed.
you think that's a rights issue? Because it can't be a.
No, they own them.
No, they own it. Warner's
I think it's just
owns the
that
whole
it was
thing.
so god awful.
All right, but by excluding it,
Yeah.
you're.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
I found it funny.
Ice
Didn't
to
make any
meet
sense.
you, or whatever
Yeah.
he says.
They have like the Superman movies. They're gonna have some of the. You're gonna get all the Super Friends stuff.
like
The original Super Friends.
Oh yeah.
The entire series. The
Okay,
70s,
I'm in.
Yeah.
70s Wonder Woman has been completely
Yep.
remastered.
Yeah, Linda Carter Wonder Woman 4K. Yeah.
You will have all of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies at launch.
Really?
Lois and Clark, The
They're-
New Adventures of Superman.
That entire series is going to be on there. They
Smallville.
hinted
What
at-
about all the?
They've hinted at Smallville. They've
What
hinted
about
at
all the
Arrowverse.
CW?
I think
Arrowverse
that's
stuff?
coming. I think they don't want to put everything out there at once because people will sit down and just rip through it and be done with it. But I think it's gonna be like a slow release.
Similar to the WWE network.
Yes,
I mean, that
just like
would
they do with wrestling,
that
yeah.
would. So that gets to one of my overall things: is if you're going to have something that is the DCU, DC Universe Media point, I want it all
Yeah.
there,
Yep,
right?
it will be coming.
It will.
But don't take it off of other places.
See,
right?
that's the
Yeah.
problem.
Well,
See,
see,
that's
I
where
think-
you're going to run into an issue.
Yeah.
And you're going to see it with the Disney app as well. Those Marvel movies,
Are coming off.
once the contracts end with these shows,
Yeah.
you're going to see them pull all of that back.
Ant-Man and Wasp will be the last Marvel movie released on Netflix, and then
all
they're
of
gonna
the
start pulling
Fox
them all
products. So Netflix is going to have a huge gaping hole.
Yeah,
their
which
content
gets
used
to my problem. What should be is there's an interoperable partnership way where they still appear on Netflix,
Yeah.
but
There's like
but,
a plugin that lets you
yeah.
jump to the other app or something within the Netflix screen or something.
Well, no, I don't have to jump to shit. I want to right. So it's simple. You work this out in terms of infrastructure for content, for rights, for distribution, for money sharing or money flowing, or you continue to drive people to ways to just watch this crap the way they want without paying for it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's in this technological world, things don't get more controlled and more, proprietary.
Yeah.
life finds a way, right? I mean,
Yes,
this is nerds find a way, right? I mean, it
You going on Goldblum on me?
yeah.
I think at least
Minus all the charisma and chest hair.
I mean, the best you might get on that, at least for the time being, might be that we talk about like the TV portion of the Apple stuff. But
yeah.
anyway, where were we? But there's that. Also, you're going to get a bunch of the animated movies. I think Death and Return of Superman, I don't think will be on there, the newest one, but you're definitely going to have, I think, everything Gotham by Gaslight and before it looks like.
Yeah, everything
Okay.
up through Gotham.
Which,
by
have you seen
Gaslight.
Gotham by Gaslight?
I haven't.
It's
I haven't. I haven't
They did a
watched
great
most
job.
of those, and
So those are some, like, there's some of those that are better than a lot of the Marvel movies to me. Like, I would take Under the Red Hood.
Yeah. See, I haven't watched most of those. I own them all on disc or
Yep.
digital or whatever, but again, my time for media consumption
Yeah,
is
no, I
really
know.
strange. When I travel a lot, I tend to watch more stuff.
Yeah.
But I did watch the Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
What was that done in 2 movies?
Yeah, that was done too. 1 and 2 will be available at launch.
And I kind of, I enjoyed that.
Yeah. For me, the big ones are like Under the Red Hood is probably the best one. I thought
I've never seen Mask of the Phantasm, which I've heard is awesome.
that's
Yeah, I'm not
really?
kidding you, right?
Oh my
So I'm a
God.
Batman fan,
So you
but
haven't
I'm
seen
also
the
a bad
original
fan.
Yeah.
animated series movies.
I started watching the animated series with my daughters, probably made it halfway through the first season, and that's kind of, I don't know if we were talking about it last episode or not, but how I kind of lost the if you like what daddy likes, then that's good. We used to watch Batman '66, right? When the Blu-rays came out, I bought the full Blu-ray set because
Harley
it just
wore
looks
those things out,
amazing.
yeah.
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 Box
We used
set's
to
incredible.
watch them together,
That in the movie.
and then we stopped
Yeah, the
getting
movie.
them.
Athena.
Some days you can't get rid
Yep.
of
I
them.
think Athena owned the movie twice because she burnt it out. Like
Oh.
she just ruined it.
She
every day.
Harley got me to the point where I couldn't watch it anymore.
Yeah.
I needed
so
a break.
Will Batman '66 be on the DC
So
Universe app?
yeah, so it's definitely coming. Linda Carter was first. Like I said, I think they're just trying to like stagnate some of the stuff out.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited will be available.
So there was an original Justice League animated series.
Yep. So just
that I never
the
saw.
first, I think it was, I want to say 2 seasons, was just Green Lantern, Jon Stewart, Hawkgirl, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Flash. And they went unlimited, and everyone from the Question to Hawk and Dove. To, I mean, the whole toy
yeah,
box
random.
opened up. It was awesome.
All right.
Those cartoons are great. Also, you're gonna get what else? All the animated movies. And then there's other new content coming, like exclusive stuff. For me, my favorite one that's going to be coming is they're doing what's his name? James Wan, who did the Aquaman movie,
Yeah.
Fast and Furious movies. Swamp Thing animated series. Hard R,
Really?
like R-rated Swamp Thing, like
Really?
yeah, like really like dark Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing, Jeff Johns is doing Stargirl.
Yep, they're doing a Stargirl show.
Really?
Yep.
There's going to be a Harley Quinn series.
Animated? These are all
And,
animated?
Stargirl, I think, is going to be live action, isn't it?
I believe so.
Stargirl's going to be live action, like Berlanti-verse kind of stuff, like Arrow and Flash.
Really?
Yep, new Harley animated series.
Something you'll be interested in, the old Teen Titans cartoon.
Yeah.
They're bringing back all the old episodes, but this came out of Boston Fan Expo Boston. Tara Strong let it slip that they're working on new episodes. There's a great chance that
Really?
that's going to be rebooted again.
Because the other big selling point,
So
least-
that's interesting.
yeah, that a lot of people like my
Original cast, the whole
So I'm assuming this is an app I can get on my Fire TV, my Roku
Apple
stick,
TV,
my
yeah,
Apple
it's
TV.
it's not gonna be ready for launch, but they said it's even gonna come out for PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
care
it'll
about
be.
that.
So I'm saying like they're covering the whole gambit. But like Athena's super stoked for Titans. She's excited to have, even though like she has all the discs, now I'm to walk downstairs to watch Linda Carter Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
'Cause that was like that was her baptism by fire, just like me. It was 6 Batman.
Yeah.
For her it was
I
Batman and Wonder Woman.
watched all
I watched
those.
the hell out of it.
Yep.
But and we were bummed because we and her we used to real into Young Justice. That was a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Young Justice season 3. It's done. It's gonna be available app only. So they brought everybody back. So basically everything that they got cut off for, like in the mainstream world,
Right.
they brought all their toys back, and they're going hard. Like it's going to be awesome.
So there's an opportunity there, in terms of Marvel's success with the movies and DC's failure with the movies so far in terms of universe and engagement. The Berlanti-verse, I know it's not for everybody, and the whole CW, young pretty people shtick
Shirtless Boy Network.
put me off for a long time. but I've voraciously watched every single one of those DC, the Arrowverse shows, and actually enjoyed them in a way that's similar to the comics, right? I love the crossovers. I love the way that the characters, DC Legends of Tomorrow, which is a complete strange, not as great a show, but the way the characters were created in the other shows, and it felt like
You have to
the
watch
joy
it
of reading comics,
to get
right?
the hooks in you,
Yeah. So if they could figure out how to grow an interconnected live action universe of TV episodes in the DC universe and actually start to crack Batman, actually get it to the main characters, you have the opportunity to end run Marvel's domination of the cinema by doing an HBO like, Game of Thrones, Sopranos, that type of epic type stuff. Do a real comic universe of serialized, 45-minute content.
Yeah.
And
You're
that
getting dangerously close to the Batman universe.
So
they keep
touching,
they
pick around the edges.
So I know you so Gotham obviously isn't part of the whole thing, but you might not know. So they've already she's casted. They're doing a crossover event this season. They're bringing Batwoman in.
So I did see that, and that excited me. I fell off. I was reading Batwoman, the New 52 series for maybe the first 2 years or so, and don't have a lot of history in Batwoman. Always liked the graphics, the design.
Yeah, see, I know about her till I think it was Hush. She came around in Hush.
Yeah.
When they did the whole Bat Family thing, I knew about her then.
I don't know about the two of you, but I thought the casting was dead on.
It was. People went
Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose.
Oh, Ruby Rose. That's right.
Ruby Rose.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Well,
she fits the part.
But people get so quick to, right? I mean, Ruby Rose has a lot of, potentially polarizing features, or she's a very edgy person with some really interesting roles. But people discount the fact that what she is also, she's a fantastic actress, and that's what you want. I don't want to see Ruby Rose or her past roles in a costume.
Yeah.
I want to see a great actress portray a character that really has not been much out in the popular. People who read comics have seen Batwoman.
Yeah, but she essentially has a blank slate.
Yes, that's the point.
It's not like she's just like. I mean, she obviously, like everyone else in the Berlanti shows, like I said, she's a looker.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though she's not on my team, which is fine, but
everybody's on your team.
well, no, because it's like people were upset, but it's like they actually cast a lesbian actress to play a lesbian character. But if you watch she's in John Wick 2, she can roll with the action stuff. She can bang
and
it's gonna be awesome.
She was amazing in that.
Yeah, she's gonna be awesome.
And I'm fully invested in not knowing or caring anything outside what I see on the show, right? And and I'm excited by her in that role, and I'm excited that they're doing that. You're right; it does feel like they're edging closer to, right? I mean, when they had Superman in the Supergirl series,
who's coming back this season?
Superman and Supergirl,
and Lois Lane this season. Lois Lane and Supergirl this season.
She was just cast recently.
I
saw the name.
They had the show. I think they had the list of 3. I don't know if they actually picked one yet. They had it down to 3. I think.
To find it.
But yes, Lois Lane's coming in Superman to come back to Supergirl this year.
I thought the casting of Superman was a little weak. Just the actor's good, but he felt small.
They can't even get it right in a movie. You expect them to do it on TV.
Superman has to be the hardest character to write for, though.
Yeah,
how do you make that character interesting?
It's hard.
You need somebody else to play off him. How do you destroy him?
Well, but how do you build a populated DC universe?
Put Batman in it.
Without the polls. Well, Batman's not much easier.
It feels like Gotham's ending pretty soon. I think, is this the last season of Gotham coming up?
It is.
So now with their own network, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Berlanti's done a very good job of pulling in big characters that then tie into the larger Batman mythos, which is how you got the League of Assassins and everything else.
What was this last season? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I watched. Yeah, I watched the end of this season, and Return of Ra's al Ghul in that context, and the joining of their new big bad with the legacy big bad.
Well, I think this one, from what I've read, is the promo poster for Arrow, season 7, I think it is, and he's in the prison garb and in the bar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, way back when, I think it was probably about 8 or 9 years ago, there was a script out there for Matt Damon to play Oliver Queen in a movie called Green Arrow Supermax.
Where
he was basically locked on the island with all the supervillains and had to escape, and they were all gunning for him.
It was right around the time of the Miller Justice League.
Yep.
The writer's strike happened and the whole thing died.
Fell apart. They've pulled sections from that to make episodes for this season. So
Interesting.
yeah, it's going to be pretty good. So
I mean, I gotta say that there was. I remember there being a weak season or two in Arrow, maybe 3 and 4 or something like that.
it got a little rough. The whole when they switched, I didn't like the stuff when Sarah came back.
Yeah.
Or actually, no. I take that back. I didn't mind when Sarah came back. It's when they finally made Laurel Black Canary.
Yeah.
Nothing against her. That felt forced. Like she learned how to fight like in 3 days.
Yeah, it got a little
And then they
more
had to have
soap
Wildcats
opery,
shoehorned in there. And,
but overall, and even some of it overall has not been great. But that also feels like reading comics.
it does. It does.
Right. I mean, some comics are throwaway, and yeah.
So you bring up reading comics. So another awesome thing about the app is I think they said at launch 25,000 back issue comics will be available for free.
This would be the biggest thing for you.
This is the biggest thing.
You're
So also you're gonna be able to, if you want to subscribe to books, you can tie book subscriptions into it.
Right. So
But-
so this says must read comics.
Yeah, so they're
if,
gonna
if do I have a full run of Batman and Detective
You're
and properly readable back in the old?
yeah. So this is what this
readable on your big screen TV, readable on your devices.
they set it up. It's got
readable-
2 modes on it. It's got page by page mode where you can put it on your TV and do it page by page, or there's like a motion panel mode
Yeah.
where you go in and set an interval, like say it's like 6 seconds, and it will go panel 6 seconds, panel, full screen, panel, and just like motion comic through it for you. It's easily the best thing about this app.
You can't hear my raised
Oh,
eyebrows,
yeah, no,
my
it-
drooling mouth.
It
yeah.
is awesome because there's stuff like obviously. Go back a bit. We've talked before. I think we're all comic guys and superhero guys, but also I speak for all of us when we say we love everything, but we're way heavier on the DC side. As far
When
as
it comes to the comics,
the comics,
most
Yeah.
definitely.
the comics,
all
I
the
was
classic
DC Better Stories.
storylines.
I was
Yeah.
I was raised by Super Friends.
Yeah, I mean, my
and
first
Batman
comic
and-
was a Treasury, collector's edition C-74 or whatever, big Batman oversized Treasury from a Safeway,
Mine was,
newsstand store.
Batman versus the Hulk.
Yeah, cool.
That classic
The
Garcia
yeah,
Lopez
yep.
with the Joker running away with.
Nice. I remember my first one
Superman,
was. I remember.
I still have
That was
that
it.
comic.
I have the
It's
Treasury edition upstairs.
I have great pictures of my youngest daughter sitting reading it. It was almost as big as her. That's when I introduced them to comics. And
You let them touch
then
it?
because I have a better quality copy. It was already,
Okay.
it had, like Play-Doh stains on it where we had,
yeah.
or silly putty stains on it
Yeah,
where
silly
we'd copy, where I'd copied stuff
It was a
off.
1.2.
I drew a mustache on the big Batman poster on the back. I mean,
was a
it,
0.2.
awesome.
it was, oh yeah, but it was well loved.
Yeah.
No, it's now a 0.2 because a cat that is thankfully since passed dumped an entire fish aquarium on it because it was laying on my daughter's floor where
me
she'd
too.
been. Yeah, so now it's all nicely stained.
The comic gets worse grade as the story goes on.
Yeah, but it's well loved.
Yeah.
So
Would imagine you could read Action Comics #1 on your TV. I would imagine you'd be able to.
Yeah, they floated that you're going to have some of the classic runs, your Teen Titans runs,
Yeah.
things like that. But
You're-
you also go
you're-
back
Well, I
to
have
Dark Knight
Crisis.
Return. You're going to have Crisis. You're
I
gonna
have like bootlegged digital versions of those, and
Yeah,
they're
and you
they're
get 'em in crisp, clean,
but
1080p.
they're hard to read.
Yeah, these are these. They showed some. They showed I forget which book they showed them, but they were nice.
the Capullo Snyder Batman run.
Oh, yeah.
They showed Capullo going through that
Yeah,
run.
but I have those,
Yeah,
right?
but you have to-
I want the ones from the 40s.
Oh, yeah.
That that don't exist in good.
I would almost guarantee at launch you're going to get all the way back to like first appearance Aquaman and first Shazam because the movies are coming out. You're going to
All
get
right,
like the
all right,
old,
so-
like Wonder Woman #1 reboot from the 80s, and you're going to get books.
Well, and the cool thing that they were hyping with the comic reader is this is all going to be interconnected. So you're going to be able to go back to, as you're watching one of the animated movies, you can cross-reference back in the middle of the movie to the source material. If you wanted to go
Really?
back and
Yeah.
read.
Or if you're watching, say you're watching, I'm trying to think. Yeah, like say you're watching Teen Titans Judas Contract, right? And you've never seen Teen Titans, and you go, "Oh, that's Starfire." Pause it, go into the menu, Starfire. Boop boop.
It's
you
gonna
wanna-
pull up
here's
everything.
about Starfire.
Here's
First
all-
appearance.
Here's the show Starfire's in.
So
Here's
are
all the
they
books.
are they
Here's the-
marketing and advertising that, or have they been spending several years doing the work necessary to and the infrastructure
It's a heavy
necessary
lift
to do that? Because
to have the
because the
cross-reference.
work to do that, the metadata, the linking, the
Oh, yeah.
digital assets, all that stuff, that's an awful lot.
Like I said, the foot is firmly on the gas with this thing. They want to make sure that outside of the Marvel movies that they get their hooks into this next year, which is fine. The new generation of readers, but because they do have better stories.
So where do I go to pay my money?
Just
DCUniverse.com.
You think I'm kidding? I'm
So also, I don't know if it was only people signed up before the show. This was the big surprise to me. Because they never mentioned any of this. Just Kevin had it sitting on the table. The people that already prepaid for the full year, not only were you getting the 3 full months and the Batman entry into the sweepstakes, you were getting the the Teen Titans hardcover omnibus book, like the $149 Teen Titans
Really?
book. That's like 12 inches thick. Yeah, they're sending you that when your subscription starts. So it's almost like buy the book for half price and get 15 months of DC
get
Universe for
everything
free.
yeah. That's I'm in.
Yeah. So I'm excited. And the other things too is like they do a lot of animated movies, so there's those coming out. There's gonna be the new cartoons, the new live action shows. They're working on getting, like you said, all the Smallville stuff and the Arrow stuff, movies.
Well, and unlike the movies and the Warner Brother movies, they have the actual creators working on the product. It's John's doing the Stargirl. Jim Lee's heavily involved in this.
Yeah.
They have the actual creators of these
Yeah, they're not
characters
passing
and
these off to
books
just random people. Like,
working. It is a DC product.
Yeah.
It sounds fantastic. I'm literally sold. The strange look on my face is because their dumbass password rules don't accept my completely acceptable secure password because it doesn't have a special character.
Yes.
So, I'm predisposed to being pissed off at technology.
I think the Patriots Pro Shop has the same thing now, where I went to go buy a new hoodie for the season. I had to change my password. Tis
Funny,
the
we're
world.
stopping there tomorrow.
Yeah, we were there last week, so that's where I got my hat. But yeah, so it's coming out September 15th. Titans will come out about a month after that. Chris says it's going to debut at New York Comic Con. I forgot my favorite part.
What's that?
My favorite part. So, as a subscriber to DC Universe, it gives you chances to buy toys and statues that no one else gets to buy.
There will be exclusive merchandise for members only.
Merch. So there's going to be T-shirts. Kev was wearing one of the DCU
Does
T-shirts.
it include a special iron-on permanent ass tattoo for you?
You can put it right next to your Tell 'em Steve Dave one.
Fair enough.
I'll get an Aquaman tattoo, no problem. I wanted a Green Lantern one. The wife said no, so I snuck in a Star Wars one instead. But the first set is actually real cool. So from the Justice League cartoon that we were talking about, you get the they look just like the cartoon. They're the 6.5-inch DC like icon figures.
Yep.
They're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeous. You get all 6 Justice League members and Aquaman that you can purchase. I think they're $22.99 a piece. So those we bought. I'll have a set. Athena wants a set, so that'll be 2 sets of those right off the bat. So they're getting all my fucking money. Not that they don't have it anyway. I have so much Green Lantern and Batman stuff and Superman stuff, and they get me anyway. But now they
So you're
really
already in
got
the
me.
bag for the John's reboot when the Green Lantern movie comes
Oh
out.
my god, I cannot. Yeah. As long as they don't go with Tom Cruise, please no Tom Cruise.
No,
Is that
they
actually
already
a rumor?
said
That's-
no.
Yeah, he's on the short list. That's who they want.
They floated it out there. It came out that it was a hoax.
He's too
Just
small.
to get the fanboys up in arms. Mm-hmm. And it worked. People lost their fucking minds.
Yeah, like that'd be cool if you played like the Squirrel Green Lantern, but I don't know. He's not Hal Jordan to me. I'm one of those guys.
Have you seen Tom Cruise run? You just
Yeah.
gotta have him run.
I know.
It's fine.
I mean, I think they're gonna go Jon Stewart. If they do that, I want Idris Elba because I think Idris Elba should play everything. But that's just me.
Including Bond.
Yeah, he should be Bond too. That's a different. Really, so
So
as we talk, so Sean's signing up for the.
So
the
I
DC Lab right now.
literally just paid for it. So you guys have successfully at least taken $75 of my money.
Yay, we got one.
Yay!
Yep. You
Cool.
paid $76.98 US dollars to DC Universe.
Awesome.
We didn't even need Kevin to pimp it to you.
We didn't even
Yeah,
need it.
actually,
he did a
that's-
good job.
It makes me feel a
So-
little dirty, gentlemen.
Yeah, and the other thing is too. Speaking of, to go back to Kevin again, his daughter Harley is actually gonna be one of the hosts on DC Today.
Oh, interesting.
She got
That'd be
herself
cool.
a job.
Yep, she got herself a job.
Yeah.
So he was excited about that.
You were confused.
No, I'm really against paying more money for siloed content.
But you just did though.
No, but I just didn't. So that's the look of confusion, right? There's a little, what is it, cognitive dissonance. But what you described at least establishes that I'm interested. I would rather spend $76.98 apparently for 15 months to give them a shot, right?
Yeah.
Than shell out $8 a month, which seems kind of perverse, right? It's weird math, but I'm more mad at $8 a month than I am at the larger amount for the year.
I hear you.
The psychology is weird.
Yeah.
At its very core, I think the $75 a month, there's enough in the app, even if I didn't like any of the new stuff.
Yeah,
I could get $75 worth of value out of watching the old Wonder Woman or going be a kick in the head to watch the old
Of course,
Super
one of the
Friends.
things
Just
everyone's
Batman.
right.
Yeah.
We've recently cut over. We've cut the cord and moved to online streaming service stuff to begin with. So I'm kind of going through a lot of this crap as it is. And one of my pain points is most of the apps don't have a clean way for me to adjust a viewing level for the TV in my girls' room. Right. I don't really want them watching pulling up Deadpool and YouTube TV, which is there.
Yep. Yep.
And yeah, normal parenting stuff, but can I, when I log in their Roku stick into the DC app, can I say, hey, these kids are 13, please don't show them
That 5-second clip from Titans where Robin says a bad word.
fuck Batman,
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain on something like Disney will be able to. They've been doing that kind of stuff.
But then
for a
again, with
while,
them,
but-
there's not a lot of stuff to do. Like with this, there's not a lot of stuff to do it with. Like there's a couple I think there's one scene when in
R-rated Swamp Thing. I mean, again,
yeah, when that
this
stuff
is,
comes, yeah,
this
yeah.
is really not that big a deal because my
Yeah.
kids have seen stuff.
They
It's
need-
just
Yeah. No, I hear you though.
throw a login on it like you have on Netflix. Different users and
No, Netflix has different profiles.
Yeah.
And yes, if I turn on a universal pin, but all that does is make it inconvenient for everybody else, right?
mean,
it's not proper, right?
this sounds like a parenting issue.
But it's
tell
more of a
Harley
tech,
to
right?
click
It's more
on
of a
Harley and-
technical issue
yeah.
than a
Yeah.
parenting issue, right? I have no problem acknowledging there's a role of a parent here, but when there are literally no tools other than
Sure.
yes, you got to trust your kids, whatever. But that fundamental parenting issue is prior to a world where trusting your
You want the
kids
trust but
for
verify.
10 minutes unfettered access to internet and streaming can allow them to watch the worst possible things in the universe. So I'm not crazy in wanting some form of parental guidance and
I
context.
got a feeling too with this. There's gonna be like constant updates. It seems like they're also gonna be very open to suggestion and like feedback
Yeah.
for this because, like I said, they are kind of banking the future on this thing,
Yep.
and they're not half-assing it. This isn't going to be something where they're just going to kind of launch it and throw it to the wayside. So
Well, the multimedia aspect of it is interesting to me, right? Library content, new content,
Yeah.
that's standard stuff, and that's the stuff I don't like. Tying it into the comics and having links between them and stuff, that's something that I can see some potentially more interesting value. Though it's also the type of thing that will I actually use it, right? Just because it's cool, right? I've got 15,000 comics that it's cool to have so I can read all these stories and look at the covers that are exquisitely stored in my my closet and bags and boards and pristine where I never see them. So
yeah, well, I mean,
There's certain things that I mean, probably going back to some of the Snyder stuff.
yeah.
I mean, if there's one filmmaker out there that pulls a panel directly off the page,
Yeah.
some of that stuff from The Watchmen, go back to the comedian's apartment. If
Yeah.
you could show
Yeah.
me the page with him flying across the kitchen, it's,
Yeah. So that's
There's
Again,
certain
that's
things like that where
there's hard work for that.
I'd want to
happen.
pause and be like, oh shit, yeah, he
Yeah.
nailed it.
Yep.
or like if they end up like, because I know the movie got shut down, but say next year they say, oh, guess what, we're doing go do the Justice League Dark as a series.
Yeah.
So I know Zatanna from the Justice League books and from the cartoons, but I didn't read Zatanna, in the comics. So if they could link me to like origin books, I'd be all for it.
And I read Justice League Dark only in the New 52 run.
Yeah.
So
And they just started it again.
Yeah.
But like Constantine, like they start bringing like the Demon. I love him in the cartoons. Didn't really read a lot of the books because they were in the weird DC
See, I
books.
never, other than some of his involvement in some of the Justice League Dark stuff, minor, and his overlap into the Sandman, Neil Gaiman Sandman stuff. I didn't know much about Constantine until I watched the one season of the show or whatever, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's coming back too.
Well, they brought him through DC. They brought him through a few of the Berlanti universe stuff.
I
He's
think
just
that's
too,
coming back.
he's the guy they cast is too compelling in the character. The character itself is awfully compelling, just as an element of difference.
Now,
Yeah.
you just touched upon my one great hope for the streaming service, and that's to bring the Sandman universe into it. Oh. You have Gaiman actively showrunning.
Okay,
now.
but
You
you've
have-
got DC and Warner Brothers Media long-term association. Have there been Vertigo properties from the Vertigo imprint in the Warner Brothers world, right? Will Sandman ever be a movie or a miniseries? It should be a
Should
freaking
be.
miniseries.
Wasn't Preacher Vertigo?
Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't assuming the answer is no.
Yeah.
I'm asking. So yes,
I think
Preacher
it might
was.
be.
but Preacher is an AMC show, not Warner Brothers, not openly DC, right? So I don't know whether that came through any kind of DC licensing or whether Vertigo is creator owned. Like, I literally don't know how the rights work. So Sandman in there would make the most sense if they HBO and Showtime the shit out of a Sandman proper hour-long serialized
You set up that
multi-season.
universe,
That'd be
it's-
insane.
And use the actual Constantine from the,
You have him.
Show. Yeah.
Right. And of course, they don't like to pollute, right? That's why Batfleck's not Batman
see-
in the Berlanti-verse, and
Well,
Flash, they put
but
some
if you-
dumbass
yeah, if
Flash
If you're
on.
doing it as a serial, you could bring the same Constantine from the Berlanti.
Yeah, if there's a movie, you have
Yes.
to worry about it because obviously you're not going to get Keanu Reeves back. Thank God. Nothing against
Oh,
Keanu Reeves, but just
I
the movie
totally
was not-
forgot about that.
He's
I don't think
making
I
all the
ever
John
watched
Wick
that one.
money.
Yeah, he's making.
Man's riding horses, for Christ's sakes. He
he's
doesn't
doing
need
Bill
this
Clinton.
shit.
Yeah.
But I mean, the guy who played Constantine on the TV show, his name escapes me at the moment, but he said he's dying to get back into it.
Of course he is.
So, and the other two is like Jim. We even said on the stream, he's like, we can do whatever the fuck we want. 'cause
Right.
It's ours, and there are
Yeah.
toys, and no one can tell us
Constantine-
no.
Isn't he going to be a recurring character on
Yeah,
Legends now?
on Legends
He's
now.
brought in.
Yeah, so
Oh,
so
yeah.
so
Rip
he's
is
already
gone and they're
he's already
bringing him in.
anchored in that, and he'd obviously
So
be up
move
for
him.
it.
Move him
But so now I
for it.
want to go to Neil Gaiman and start poking him for is there any, or because last we heard it was what's his name, Jonathan, the Looper played the young.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, right? At one point, he was associated with either a Sandman movie or a Sandman series, something like
was
that.
He was
Sandman, yeah,
attached,
it was-
Yeah,
it was-
but I think that I think that fell
yeah,
apart.
because going back because they had to worry about like the suits at Warner Brothers. See, this thing too is like I had to do some digging on this. This is not a Warner Brothers product. This is strictly a DC product. They own
Right.
they own first right of refusal on everything.
Okay,
so
so-
even if Warner Brothers has it,
Yeah.
like under development contract, DC
No.
can go, no, we're doing our own.
So that makes sense. It's anchored in DC. You're right. So Warner
Yeah.
Brothers is independent. But again, you bringing up Sandman, you're not making this less compelling for my purposes.
Sure.
But it's also if they can't do that, you still got to right. I mean, it needs to be what you just said, Jim Lee, not just speaking for DC and the current properties and licensees, but the entire DC Vertigo.
Yeah.
This new DC Black Label stuff. I mean, they
Yeah.
need to. If this is their, multi-content, multimedia, tie point. Maybe they can have 75 of my dollars a year. I can't believe I'm saying that. Given I don't want anybody. But now you have my attention and you gave them my money.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I said, it's definitely at least worth spending for a year. I mean, I want to see Titans. I was going to pay for Titans anyway. Swamp Thing, I'm all over because we were big Swamp Kid people.
Swamp Kids? Yeah.
Swamp Kids?
Swamp Pans as kids.
I don't know
Swamp
what he was doing
Pants?
as a child.
It's my brother's favorite superhero was Swamp Thing. Like we went to Universal Studios when we were kids. We met Dick Durock. He's got a piece of the suit in his autograph book. Oh yeah,
jeez.
yeah. We went with Make a Wish and they got him on the set when they were filming in Florida. He's got a big chunk of the Swamp Thing suit.
That's
See, that was
insane.
one. I was heavy into the Alan Moore run, but not much before or after. That kind of hit me.
Yeah.
That was in that period where I was reading a ton of comics and just happened to come midstream into that storyline. And
They got
So-
some cool stuff. So
So what are the odds given a certain director that we like a lot having played in the Berlanti universe? We'll table that. You know what I'm keeping an eye out
Yeah.
for, right?
yeah, but they can. I mean, I said they can do whatever they want now. They want to do a Dr. Fate movie, animated movie. Do it. They want to do a live action one.
Yeah.
Do it. They want to do finally. You can probably get Lobo on something.
Yep.
Besides, I guess he's coming to Krypton. They said, whatever. But
Surprisingly enough, the people that I've talked to that run comic shops and all, they like the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Haven't got to. It's on the list.
Which show?
Krypton.
Krypton.
Oh,
the one on Sci-Fi. They like
all right,
it in a
so
big
I
bad
have.
way.
I think haven't watched the last 2 episodes of the season, and I went in pretty much with no expectations. I've been watching my way through the entire Berlanti-verse since Arrow season 1 for several years now. Basically, in airing order as it happens. I've been watching it. Gotham 2 and Krypton 2, even though those aren't tied in, I kind of still, I kind of treat it like comics, right? Every week, the issues of these different series come out. Some of them relate, some of them don't. But that's, I watch them as they come out, and I'm a little behind. But Krypton's one where there's not a lot of source material. It's basis for it, right? I mean, it's certainly related to all this stuff, but it's somewhat
They can
some original.
blank slate it a little bit.
Yeah, it's separated from Supergirl, but I didn't know anything about Rao and the Krypton, all this stuff. But it ties into Supergirl, so it feels familiar. I've kind of enjoyed it.
That's cool.
I
hadn't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I recommend it. I don't think it's that many episodes. It's only like 10 episodes
think it was
or
a
something
10
like that.
episode run.
I think I've got 2 more to go. Ties into who bottles the city of
Brainiac.
yeah, Brainiac. So
Andor.
I get confused because Brainy in the Supergirl universe coming with the
That was Brainiac 6, though, from the Legion.
yeah,
superheroes.
and
Yeah,
again,
it
I'm
gets
not deep
confusing.
in that knowledge.
Yeah, it gets
but yeah,
confusing.
so Brainiac is it's
he's a bastard.
pretty cool. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah. Definitely gonna first snow day after I get done shoveling, I'll probably sit down and rip through that.
it's well produced. We're well into technologically production wise.
Yeah.
We're well into the world where somebody given not too much money is doing some pretty impressive work. So Krypton fits into that.
Yeah. So I said, there's a bunch of stuff coming out DC wise. If you're a DC person, it's definitely the way to go to get the app. Because on top of the CW, if you like the CW stuff, you're probably going to like Titans and all this new stuff they got coming out. Stargirl, who will probably somehow weave its way into the Berlanti-verse eventually. But
We didn't even talk about the Doom Patrol.
oh my God, they're doing Doom Patrol too.
So other than knowing the words Doom Patrol and associating it with maybe Grant Morrison at some point in there, I really
to
actually
do a
don't. And I have the Doom Patrol from the recent run stuff,
Yep.
and I have the one that has the peel off burrito cover, whatever.
Yeah.
I know jack about Doom Patrol. I
Yeah.
don't know what the Doom Patrol is.
I know about the new, I know them from the newer iteration. All I know is it's another group. It's going to come off of the Titan show, and that Brandon Fraser's in it.
Okay.
Alan Tudyk was just cast as the big bad.
Wait,
Oh,
Tudyk
yeah.
and
Tudyk was-
Fraser. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Tudyk
So
was
that
just
makes
They're
cast.
not, they're not doing this on the cheap.
No,
Yeah.
they're bringing
This
in
isn't.
names
Yeah,
for all these
this isn't
parts.
Well, I'm not
community
sure
college
Brendan
film
Fraser
class.
is expensive at this point.
Well, no. Well, dude,
He
if
might
you
still have a little mummy money left. I don't know.
I'm just giving him
that
shit.
big
Yeah.
fat bag of bedazzled cash.
What was it George of the Jungle? Isn't it?
Dazzled.
Dudley Do Right too.
Yeah.
Hey, those kids movies.
All right, maybe he's got a little
George
more
Roy, that's
anchor
a
than
pretty
we.
awesome movie.
Yeah.
Boy,
Top
Jason
movies.
Lee retired off those.
Exactly.
Played
dude,
Dave
yeah.
Seville a few times, and he's
Yeah.
done.
Exactly. Road trip.
I've never seen the Chipmunks
Yeah.
movies. Just saying.
He's a good Dave.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else on the?
No, I think we covered just
Yeah, I
about
think
everything there.
Well, at least what they've announced. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna go wrap it up like we do every week with a FANMEN top 3. So let's go top 3 things you're looking forward to with the DC universe. Either what could possibly come or what they've already announced.
All right. So I'm going to say cautiously optimistic as my number 3 about the comics archive. Right. I'll be interested to see how deep they go into it. Whether it's the little flash on the app there or the site says must read comics. As soon as I seen a qualifier like must read, I'm like, no, I want all of them, not just the must reads, right?
Yeah.
But that excites me, particularly if it's indexed, searchable. I can get in and out of it and link between characters
And
and
that's
creators.
something they can continue to build that library.
Yeah.
You're paying for storage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's,
Well, and they should be doing that internally for their own Bibles and continuity
That's
and
probably
reference.
the dirty little secret. They have it. And this ties into one thing you asked about.
Yep.
Completely forgot. The DC Encyclopedia
Oh yeah.
is going to be part of this app. You're going to have
Yep.
the entire history of the DC universe
Yep.
at your fingertips to cross-reference again any of these stories
Yep.
that you
All
read.
right. So that's my third.
Okay.
Is-
Chris, what do you got for three?
Number 3 for me is going back and revisiting some old friends. Being able to go back and watch the Super Friends cartoons that
Oh,
we grew
yeah.
up with, the old Wonder Woman episodes. I mean, it's going to be a nice little nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
You can be back in your PJs on a Saturday morning
Yeah.
watching some of these things again.
Yeah.
Yeah, my three's definitely in that same wheelhouse for me. Like, I narrowed it down to just Batman the animated series. I was gonna buy the Blu-ray set for I think it's like $119.99 was the
Yeah, I
set.
bought it too.
Yeah, well, I was going to. Then I got the dirty look. I was like, I already have them all on DVD, but now I get to watch them all in high def, and it was $40 cheaper, and I get a whole another world of stuff with it for a whole year and a half.
And not something else to add to your crap in your office.
Exactly. So I basically, so I've already broken even with just Batman the animated series. That was my
That's
number 3.
worthwhile. Yeah.
2.
So number 2, I'm going to say Titans because so notwithstanding my concerns about my daughters watching stuff like that, a live action, off network opportunity to be gritty, less poppy, maybe not worrying about they better not have damn commercials, right? So a little more akin to the creative freedom that the current world has. I'm interested to see what they do with that, and it's something that hasn't really been touched. So there.
All right. My number 2 would be, I'm going to step on Sean's number 3. It's the comic archive. It's most of the stuff, and I'm dating myself a little bit here. I don't read a lot of the current runs. The stories, there's bits and pieces here. I'll read some of the Snyder stuff, things like that. It's more authors that I read than the actual comics. But when I want to sit down and go back and read some, it's going back and reading those classic runs. I might want to read Judas Contract or go back and revisit Hush or Darknet. So having all of those at my fingertips, that's definitely a big one for me.
Yep.
My number 2, I'm going also with Titans. I'm still for Robin, especially Dick Grayson as a
Yeah.
character. I probably like Dick Grayson more than Batman.
Yeah.
I love Dick Grayson. So it's the fact that I get him live action and it's not Chris O'Donnell. I'm very excited. I guess it's the kid from the last Pirates of the Caribbean movie who played like Orlando Bloom's son.
Yeah.
But he kind of looks like a Robin, so I'll take it. And I love Beast Boy. He's not going to be kooky like taco eating Beast Boy from the
Yeah.
cartoon, but
He
Which
looks
is a
amazing.
loss.
he does. He does
That
look cool.
shot looked crazy.
Yeah, they all look real good. And the fact that because obviously they didn't do Cyborg because of the movie. He's in the Justice
Yeah.
League movie, but they went Hawk and Dove. That's a cool lineup. It's Raven, Robin, Beast Boy, Starfire, and Hawk and Dove.
And
I'm not stoked about Starfire's appearance. Not because they cast anything. She doesn't look like Starfire to me.
But so much of that is going to be
Well, you
Yeah.
notice you
In-
made her more orange, and those
Yeah.
original stills were without any special effects.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
She
Same thing with
looked
Beast
more
Boy.
orange in that.
See, I need to hear her, see her move. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you don't hear her.
Do
on the
yourself a
comic,
favor
but-
and go look at the publicity still for Raven. It looks like it came right off the screen from The Exorcist.
Or like
Yeah.
that
There's
Hereditary
some-
movie, like that nun movie
Yeah,
with
there's-
Annabelle, whatever.
They're leaning
Yeah.
into that
It's
religious
gonna be very
side of it.
occulty and supernatural. So
And again, so much of that
Yeah.
is in the
It's dark.
motion and
exactly.
the. in
And I'm
the
excited
appearance.
for what them doing Titans is going to allow them to do going forward. We talked about possibly Justice League Dark, Doctor Strange Fate, anything like weird off the Lobo, anything off the cusp like that they can do with Titans. And plus, because they already said they're doing the Titans cartoon too, so it's gonna be very heavy in that world. So I'll take 4 or 5 seasons of Titans cartoon and live action any day.
Awesome.
So number 1,
All right, number 1 for me. This is pretty clear, and I'm not generally an optimistic or hopeful guy, so I won't say that I expect this. But I think the big opportunity is an intertwined live action universe of multiple shows, movies, different contents. You don't need to counter or beat or answer Marvel's undebatable success with the Marvel cinematic stuff. But give me that in the DC world. have a mix of tones. You can have dark, you can have light, just like they've shown with the Marvel stuff. Don't keep working yourself over with the difficulties of a cinematic box office worldwide crap, and trying to pack everything into 2 hours with 5 zillion major characters. Do the slow build, move characters around, try different tones, different directors, right? Just the opportunity to do that, particularly if they can figure out how to do that within a walled garden and still let it out, like maybe have the seasons hit broadcast TV a year later or something, so they're not completely, use it as a draw. Don't use it as you can only get this if you pay to come in, but then the real hook for me there was when Chris mentioned Sandman. Give me that and have it fully tie into Justice League Dark, Constantine, and the Sandman, dream, eternal shit. I mean, that is the artistic, delivery of story and opportunity that represents what this could be for me.
Keep expanding the bubble, kind of. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you just nailed my number one. It's the
And
opportunity.
be willing to fail, right? I mean, you got to let people play in a universe with some artistic freedom, but you got to give them a chance to do stuff.
And they're not going to be held hostage by the constraints of movie critics, or people watching a box office site. I mean, all too
or
often,
nerds and podcasts.
Exactly. People sitting around in their parents' basement. Because honestly, for all the bitching and moaning that a Justice League got, that movie was in the black before it hit one screen. They sold $1 billion worth of merch. I mean, everybody thought
Does
it was
that
such a
matter? It matters in one
to
respect.
the fanboys? No. To Warner Brothers? Yeah, because they already made their money.
Right.
And that's...
But you know how much more money you can make with good, engaging content while also being good businessmen?
See, this is the accountant in me.
Me too, right?
But it doesn't. And in Warner Brothers' mind, there's a reason why they're still talking about another Justice League.
Oh, because don't stop trying.
They only made $600 million.
But we're almost 20 years into a golden age of seeing how movies are the least best way to convey story, right?
Yeah.
Sopranos taught us this. The Wire taught us this. Breaking Bad.
Oz.
Oz. Breaking Bad plus what's happening right now with Better Call Saul. I mean, that's a whole separate conversation.
Yeah.
But the opportunity to tell real story, real character,
best
regardless
stories,
of the genre
Your best
or
stories
mood.
are being told in serial format.
And so
good writers are there.
Which is why it's so good, because they can take anything they want. Like, if they don't want to do the Justice League movie, they can just break it down episodically and tell bigger stories.
Well, they have the opportunity to do something. I know you're a King fan.
Yeah.
What they were talking about with the Dark Tower.
Dark Tower, they
So
need to...
you have the opportunity now to go back and forth between the movies and the serial.
Who
you control both sides.
They could do Star Wars.
Marvel published the Dark Tower movies, so it can't go into the DC Universe app.
I thought the books were image books.
No, Marvel has this.
Of course,
they
the
Marvel?
comic books really are separate from the actual...
Yeah.
They
So
are. They touch on
let's
some
not
of the
get
same
distracted.
things.
You're
But
right.
No, it's that opportunity where it's a green playing field. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to explore a Sandman universe, they could do something
Yeah.
like that. So as much as I'm excited by some of the stuff that's going to be coming on at launch or shortly thereafter, it's what could still be to come.
Yeah.
Once they truly get
What
their
are the
feet under it.
business decisions and metrics that are going to guide whether that ever happens?
I can tell you that easy. It's recurrent. They love this model because now they have your 75, they have my 75. It's a recurring revenue model, much like in Netflix or you look at for something I don't think you're much of a wrestling fan.
No.
Yeah.
DJ's a huge wrestling fan. I'm a little less than DJ, but my daughter kind of drags me along sometimes. But they did an amazing job, and they had growing pains launching their app.
Oh, yeah.
Until they got the metadata down. And now they have this amazing library where you can go watch a match from when you were a kid at 10 years old.
Yeah.
But there's a reason that stock went from 13 to 35, because now they have 3 million paid subscribers at $10 a month.
Yep.
So
Same thing here, because they're not selling 5 million copies of books anymore.
Yeah.
I think Batman 50 did like 110,000 or something like that.
Yeah, if
that's
they're
a good run
shipping-
nowadays. So
I think
So
one
the
of
interesting
the-
thing for me, though, being interested in the business and finance stuff is, yep, they got so many million, subscribers or whatever, but that can go away in an instant, right? It's the benefits of the new model are also, right, it's MySpace. One day it's everything, the next day it's crap.
If they keep doing stuff like, to us, we look at like the Teen Titans book that they're giving us, and it's like, that's $100-something book. But no, honestly, for them to print that, not that much.
It's probably still $25 in manufacturing and shipping.
Exactly. They own all of the content that's going to be starting.
Exactly. There's no licensing fees either.
Right. So that's the big win in digital is the incremental cost of each delivered unit is infinitesimal.
Yeah, and you'll get they'll get other I'm pretty sure if we're watching Titans, someone's going to be drinking a Mountain Dew or something. There'll be some product placement.
I don't mind product placement. I hate commercials.
You might get commercials for
You'll get commercials for other DC
stuff
Universe stuff.
Yeah,
but
you won't get it's not gonna be like Hulu where you get 6 an episode probably.
No, it'll probably be something like your HBO Go.
Show them to me as an ad panel while I'm browsing through episodes.
Yeah,
They'll make me watch the commercial before or after, or you will piss me off.
Yeah,
I'm paying you money to give me the content.
Yeah, no, I'm sure they'll be okay.
Yeah. All right, so that was long enough that I forget what your number one. What's the bullet for your number one, Chris?
The opportunity.
Yeah. Okay.
What could be coming?
What could be coming? Okay, so I agree with that.
So I had opportunity kind of in my number 2. I had the comic reader originally at number 1, but since you guys both hit on it, so I'm going toys. Give me every statue, every action figure, every fucking baseball cap, hoodie, T-shirt you can throw at me, and I'll buy it.
So
I like stuff, man. I love stuff.
So what is that? So is it because they're exclusively right? So you're going to pay more money so that you can pay more money for stuff that you can only get while paying for that.
Yep.
Right. Versus, what if they just made that shit and put it out on the market and you could buy it anyway?
You know why? Because
you're a nerd collector.
I am, and I'm a wicked toy hunter.
Yeah.
And honestly, the years of especially chasing down Star Wars figures and Funko Pops, and I'm getting tired. So if these Justice League figures came out limited run specialty retailers, to try to track down and get the Batman and the Hawkgirl would be a freaking nightmare.
So you're a demanding, competitive collector who is also lazy.
No, I'm getting lazy. I'm getting burnt. I'm getting burnt out.
I was following that.
No, I'm getting torched out.
No, I got it.
Nothing's worse than having if you only had 3 out of the 4 Ninja Turtles. That sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So I can just go online and be like, only I can get these. Full set, put them in a box, send them to my house. Done. I like that.
So that's interesting.
Plus, they're doing some stuff.
I need to make a business where people give me money so that I can sell them more stuff.
See, that's like
Costco, right? But
the other day, as I'm scrolling my Twitter feed, and I see one come up from Jimmy Palmiotti.
Yeah.
And he said it, and I quote, "If I could have told my younger self one thing, it would be to collect less shit."
I'm still trying to tell myself that at 36 years old. It's going fucking piss poor.
I think maybe what I need to do, Chris, is have DJ come over to my house and buy a bunch of my shit.
If I just let DJ shop in my house, I could clean out a ton of the scrap.
No, because
that sounds like an abusive relationship in the making here, though. Our poor friend DJ is going to be poor
and divorced.
Because
he's not going to have room for any.
But we'll have a lot less stuff.
Exactly. No, but it's gonna allow them to make.
So which comics do you read?
Yeah.
We can give you long boxes upon long boxes.
Oh man, I have a lot of stuff too. But no, it's gonna give opportunity to get more collectibles out there for stuff like. So one of the other big things is there's a Joker bust. I think it's Sideshow distributes it.
Okay.
It's I forget who sculpted it.
I think I've seen this.
It's full size, to scale.
Like
it's
head. Okay.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, the one they showed the slow reveal.
Yep. It's like $799.
I haven't seen it.
It's amazing. It's
Sideshow
terrifying.
Terrifying.
So it's like
which kind of Joker?
It almost looks like. Have you seen some of the variant covers that Lee's been doing?
Yeah.
Like your more elongated face, wild eyes.
All right.
Yeah, kind of like that. So I want it basically.
All right. So you said it's $799.95,
it's like $800,
right? So
like
$800
$1,000 or something like that.
So yeah.
Well, through the DC service, they're going to release the same bust just shrunk down to 6 scale for a couple $100. So it's gonna where Sideshow would never do that, but as an offering through the DC app.
So 6 scale versus full scale. So a sixth of the production costs, but only a quarter of the, and it's actually less than the sixth because it's
Yes.
three-dimensional. But, oh, dude, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that
terrifying.
full scale.
So
I'm not sure I want
it's
it.
It's gonna allow me to get
disturbing.
some stuff that with superior craftsmanship that I would never be able to get because, like I said, if I bought a $1,000 Joker head, I'm getting divorced. She will, she will murder me in my sleep. I'm almost positive.
Speaking of which, have you seen the Ultimate Warrior
1,000.
statue?
Yes, I have seen Ultimate Warrior.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll get into it.
Yeah,
So
we'll get there.
yeah, so mine's the stuff. So basically, we all agree on the opportunity in the live action shows. We all agree on the comic book reader, and you guys want me to get divorced. That's what we have our top three this week.
While we want you to get divorced.
While you're buying our
while
shit.
buying our
while buying shit from you guys.
Yeah. Awesome.
So once again, thank everyone for joining us this week. If you want to hit us up on Twitter at FMen37, FanMen Podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes.
At Chris_Davis37.
At Vacaboca.
And pretty soon we'll be getting an Instagram fired up. We have a Facebook page too. I'll throw some pictures on there of my wife throwing my stuff out into the street and Sean laughing about it while he can't find all his apps on his iPad. So thank you much, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.